good job. See how we play on Saturday. Hope we play better. Worked hard on all the things we need to correct. Guys worked hard, had great attitudes, practiced hard, practiced pretty clean for the most part. Did a pretty good job. Competing competition was good in practice, so we'll see how we play. Hope we have a great week. We need to play really well this weekend. Start getting in a groove and start getting better every week. So I'll give you the injury report. Carlos Becker's still out. Of course, Fagan's still out. Ryan Green's got a slight pull in his hamstring. Him and Malik did this week, so they'll probably be out. Of course, Robbins is still out, and Terry Wilson, he actually got sick. He got a flu. He got a bad flu. That's going around bad now. Flu is right now, which is rare. That's early. Happening in camp. But other than that, everybody good, except the guys are out this season. Any questions?
Jimbo, you said on your show last night that the passing game was kind of coming around as the week went on. How'd you feel?
Good. I good. I mean, they're getting it and seeing it. He's feeling confident in what we were doing, but just a matter of how their looks look. You know what I mean? How their defense fit into the plays. You know what I'm saying? And they threw and caught the ball really nice. Had one of the best 2 minutes we've had coming down at the end on Thursday.
Jimbo, will you guys change anything up with the assistants on offense, like will Randy be in the box or anything like that?
We may move some guys around. We may not. Randy will be on the field.
Okay.
Of course, we don't know about the hurricane that's coming towards South Florida. And with its path, it's going to be going through Central Florida as well. And with so many of the guys on your roster being from South Florida, Central Florida, what's it been like, I guess, to try to make sure that they're fine, their families are fine, but also at the same time you're trying to make sure that they're in a good place.
Well, it's a very tough thing to juggle, and you got to make sure it goes that way. And you do communicate with them, communicate with their families, make sure they get that what's going on. If their families have made a decision what they're doing, what they're not doing, and the NCAA's allowed some help with some of the families that we're allowed to get out of there and help them get out of there that didn't have the resources to get them out. Some of the kids and children, which we have gladly done and will do, because like I say, this is a football game. That's life and death and very critical, and it is. It can be. Very disturbing, but at the same time, I think our guys have handled it really well.
So, like, what are some of those things that you guys are allowed to do as a program?
Well, you can help guys get transportation, families get transportation, or help them move or transport up here. You know, whether it's you can find them a flight, or you can find them, you know, if there are buses, which is hard right now, but you can move them and help them get out of that danger zone.
And Graham, I know you and your staff are aware, but do you have guys who come up to you and say, "Hey, Coach Fisher, this has really been on my mind. Can we talk about it?"
No, we bring it up to our players. I mean, told them everybody make sure and communicate with your people and make sure everything's all right.
Florida, within the last hour, has announced they've canceled their
Oh, wow.
game.
I did not know that.
Just, is there, could you guys still possibly cancel with them?
I have no idea. That would you have to ask the president on that, president and the AD. I was not aware Florida did, and listen, we'll do whatever they want to do.
There been any talks with Miami yet about possibly moving next week?
I haven't had. We've been focused on this week, and I know they've been trying to just worry about that hurricane because it's getting a direct hit from them down there. So, not to my knowledge in any way. And we don't know anything anyway. You have to wait and see what happens.
Are you planning any personnel changes on special teams after?
No, I mean, it may be a tweak or turn, but I mean, most of the guys will still be on there. Just got to get them better. I mean, there's some. We rotate. There's 2 or 3 guys, like I said, first team, second team, guys will in or out at different times, but shouldn't be any drastic changes. But there may be a few.
When you have a week like this where you're coming off a loss, but again, you still see progress, like, what are some of those things you're looking for from your guys throughout the course of the week? I know you always say things
back to being competitive. It is being consistent, going back to practicing hard, being willing to be coached, being willing to make adjustments, being willing to adjust to things, do things, and whatever's going on.
I mean, coaches have said, you know, hey, they'll have guys who listen, but after a loss, it seems like guys are more attentive. I mean,
generally, yeah, you're right. But you know, I haven't seen a drastic change. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I do think some urgency. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys.
Now, you said on your radio show last night that James's practice was exceptional yesterday. How would you?
I thought he practiced pretty good today. I thought he had a good practice, good solid practice today. Really did. A lot of situations, there's a lot on. I mean, as far as, you know, whether DeAndre or whoever it is. I mean, these days, these last couple of days, we get situations, and there's a lot on the guy mentally, and I thought he handled that really well. So that's the thing, does it wear him down? And we practice the way we put the pressure on him and the intensity in the situations, and I thought he did a nice job.
Does he have a good personality for handling?
Extremely. He really does. A very, very good personality with regards to that, especially for young as he is, but I mean, is very above his years in that regard, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, Grant, I know with freshman quarterbacks, you tend to give them a year. What's like?
Well, no, I don't give him a year. It's just there's usually a guy ahead of him that makes him get a year.
Right. Well, but either way, I mean, these players, they usually need a year to kind of learn your offense. And with someone like James, I mean, how would you say that learning curve how would you describe, I guess, the learning curve for him so far to this point in terms of how he's picked up on things?
Really good. I mean, he's done a good job. But you know, to say that, again, it's not really true. There's a year that some guys learn it quick, some guys don't. Some freshmen jump in and play right away, some don't. I mean, we've had, 21 freshmen All-Americans, had a bunch of them on offense.
But as far as like quarterback,
no. Well, because we've had great quarterbacks.
Right.
We've had upperclassmen quarterbacks that have played. Jameis was Heisman Trophy winner as a redshirt freshman. You know what I'm saying? I mean, DeAndre just almost broke all his records as a redshirt freshman. I mean, because we had guys ahead of him. But if they were forced into action, they could have done a nice job as true freshmen.
Ponder ended up playing your first year here?
Yeah, Ponder played right off the bat when my first year here, picked it up. Drew and all those guys did. I mean, he really did. He was like having a freshman. He had never played a lick.
There have been times in the past you feel like sometimes young players they don't know.
Not as much though his first year, because he didn't realize he was as good as he was. I know that sounds crazy. He had no idea he was as good as he was.
Said in the past, sometimes young players they don't know to be overwhelmed by the situation or nervous. Do you see that with James? Do you think he?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's that, but I'm sure there'll be nerves. It's like any kid. I mean, he's aware and he's a very smart kid. He'll be aware, but he's a guy too. When you get him in practice and the more things get going, he just takes off. You know, I think he loses himself in the competition. Hope he does. Hope he play well. We'll find out.
So when you were recruiting James, did you know that he did some summer work in a mortuary and was all around all that? So, I mean, when you hear that and you hear okay, here's a kid who has to be around corpses and whatnot. I mean, is that kind of a little unique time match? And that's not an everyday thing.
No, it's a job. It's a profession. Some people do it. Some people don't. Nothing wrong with that at all. That was his profession and who he was around. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Could you handle that?
I don't know if I had to do it. I don't know. Can somebody handle being a farmer? Could somebody? You don't know what you can do till you get put in that situation. Most people do whatever they got to do.
We got to talk to Derek Kelly this week about him finally getting on the field at left tackle.
Yeah.
And how did he handle all the adversity, the injuries and everything?
He was really, man, I'm going to tell you what, you talk about a tough sucker ball. I mean, just competes, bangs, bruises, the operations he's had, the body he's went through. I have an utmost respect for him. I mean, he puts his heart and soul out there every time, and he has handled it very well. And it's been tough on him at times. But, man, he's a mature upperclassman who's done a great job. He really has. Very proud of him and happy for him.
Kind of saying with that, I mean, you think about your line. I mean, Dickerson's had injuries, and Everly's had injuries, and Minshew's had injuries. Same thing with Kelly, and to see these guys come back. I mean, what do you think that kind of says about their toughness and dedication?
You're a football player. And I know that sounds kind of bold, but that's what a football player is. That's what a football player does. I mean, there's the parts of that game, you're never healthy. And I don't mean that in football, and that's part of the game that makes it what it is. It's a game of toughness. It's a game of mental toughness. It's a game of dealing with injuries, dealing with nicks and knacks, and that's all part of being that team, playing there for your teammate, fighting through things. It's no different. You got to do when you're ahead of your family in life. It's perfect training.
Jimbo, those offensive linemen after the game and after during this week, they kind of took DeAndre's injury a little bit to heart. They said they probably should have blocked him better, or they
that injury had nothing to do with the offensive line. I mean, people say it there was not a missed block. It was a blitz read. Mm-hmm. Had nothing to do with the line. The line, actually, I think he only got hit 2 or 3 times in regard to them, and nothing there was. I thought they actually had it. One guy got beat on it, and the sack wasn't bad. So, I mean, they all going to say that because it's the right thing to do, but they didn't have to say that because that wasn't what happened.
Just the fact that they want to play for DeAndre this season and things like that, and wanting to.
They better want to play for James right now. They will. They got see that group has a lot of pride. They do. I mean, they take. They've been maligned and criticized and all that stuff. They take it and they have a lot of pride in what they do. They come back and they understand that they're the front line of everything that goes on. Without them, you can't function with any of the skill guys.
Jimbo, young quarterback can be aided with a run game, just how Patrick and Akers done this week.
Good. Have played well. Rasul's done well too. Rasul's had a good week, so we'll see. Hopefully we'll run good. Hopefully block well and do well. And we got to have balance. And we were starting to in that game until we were mixing the run and pass and doing some nice things, and it felt really good until we just lost the momentum of it.
What are you seeing from James' pocket presence so far in practice?
Been good. I mean, he's understanding where he's going. He's felt things. He naturally does that. Pocket presence has a lot to do with your knowledge of where you're going with the ball, and then your instincts just to play. And he's done a good job.
Dumping down passes and stuff like
He
that.
actually has. Hit some nice check downs, flares, outlets. You know what I mean? Made 2 or 3 real nice check downs today. We covered some things and covered first reads and getting him to second, third reads and his progressions a lot more and a lot of seconds, but a lot of even thirds today. And it was really good.
what you can do digitally now with playbooks and film and mashups, is it easier to get a young quarterback up to speed?
I don't know. I still think there's a lot of game time. I think you can with pictures and all that, but I still, at the end of the day, it's going out there and practicing and playing. I mean, the video people will tell you something different. It may help some, but the video games don't hit. Make you mad. They don't hit.
I mean, as far as film study and trying to pick up on.
But sometimes the 3D stuff and what you got now, you can see different angles and stuff maybe. But I still, at the end of the day, it's just you got to go out and play. You got to get time in the saddle.
Is this a game where you think you'll probably play James most of the third, even the fourth quarter? Just to get
I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna play. We're gonna play as long as we have to play and play well. I just hope we can come out of this thing and play well and do what we got to do. I don't ever think in those terms.
I know Bailey had some nicks and knacks. Would he be able to play on Saturday as well?
Yeah, Bailey should be able to play. James, all of them. JJ should be able to play, but we got James. There's our quarterback. We got to go play a game. That's what I'm thinking about right now.
Is there a role for DeAndre, like in the press box on Saturdays, or somewhere where he can help you all, or help?
He'll probably be on the
James?
sideline. He'll be on the sideline. Probably better around him. Presence and poise, most likely. I don't know if he'll be able to this weekend. This Saturday just being that fine. Well, I think he'll probably get up around tomorrow and look around a little bit, but we'll see. All right.